In the world of professional sports, especially the NBA, few decisions are more scrutinized than those made before a Game 7. The stakes are high, the pressure is immense, and every choice is picked apart by fans, media, and critics alike. But in 2001, Vince Carter, a star for the Toronto Raptors, made a decision that went far beyond basketball, and it's a story that still resonates over 2 decades later. The Raptors were in the middle of a hard-fought playoff series against the Philadelphia 76ers, led by none other than Allen Iverson. Game 7 was looming, the tension was rising, and all eyes were on Carter to lead his team. But just hours before the biggest game of his career, Vince Carter wasn't in Philadelphia. He was at the University of North Carolina, walking across the stage at his college graduation. Why? Because he made a promise. Carter had left college early to enter the NBA draft in 1998, but he didn't leave his education behind. He worked relentlessly over the summers, through correspondence courses, and stayed committed to finishing what he had started. His degree in Afro-American Studies wasn't just a piece of paper. It represented something deeper: his family's legacy, his own sense of discipline, and a commitment he made to his mother. Recently, Vince Carter opened up about the experience in an episode of Time Out with Dwyane Wade, joined by Wade, Darrell Wright, and Chris Johnson. The group reflected on that pivotal decision, and Carter laid out exactly what was going through his mind at the time. "Everybody in my family are all school teachers," Carter explained. "It's student-athlete, not athlete-student. That's what I was taught growing up. So I made a promise to my mom that if I left early, I'd go back and finish my degree. And I did." He admitted that he hadn't initially realized his graduation would fall on the same day as Game 7. But when the date became clear, he didn't back down. "I worked my butt off for that degree. So I said, I am going to walk like everybody else." Still, the media didn't see it that way. Criticism came in fast and loud. Carter recalled hearing judgmental takes from people who had also earned degrees, some even from professional athletes, who couldn't believe he would risk missing time before a playoff game. But Carter wasn't reckless. He made sure to handle it professionally. He went to every teammate, face to face, and told them exactly what he was planning. "This is what I'm going to do. This is when I'm leaving. This is when I'll be back." To his surprise, every single teammate supported him as long as he returned on time and was ready to perform. Carter's day started early. "I graduated at Chapel Hill at 9 a.m., he said. He immediately boarded a private jet back to Philadelphia. The Raptors had even arranged for a backup plane in case of a malfunction. The stakes were that high. He arrived back in Philly on time for the team meeting and was the first player there. The headlines told a different story. The media spun it as a distraction. As selfish. As a sign he wasn't fully committed to winning. The truth didn't matter nearly as much as the controversy. "It was crazy to me," Carter said. "We always talk about student athletes. We promote the importance of education. And here it is, live in your face. One of your athletes is doing it." In the end, the Raptors lost that Game 7 by a single point. Carter missed a potential game winner at the buzzer. And in the eyes of some, that miss became linked forever with the decision to attend his graduation. But for Carter, that decision was never in question. It was about finishing the job on his terms. Over 2 decades later, Vince Carter's legacy is bigger than just stats or playoff performances. It's about professionalism, commitment, and following through on a promise, even when the world is watching and waiting to criticize. In a world where athletes are often judged solely by championships and numbers, Carter reminds us that sometimes, the greatest victories happen off the court.